Hello. Today we're going to talk about using articles, especially the, and when to use no article before titles and geographic names. If you would like a worksheet or a note-taking worksheet that you can complete while you watch this video, click the link in the description. You can download the worksheet, print it, and then practice taking notes while you're watching the video. Let's get started. Let's start with titles. If we have a title like the King of England or the President of the United States, where there's only one, we put the in front of it. But when we put a person's name after the title, then we have no article. For example, King Charles, President Trump, Prime Minister Churchill, Professor Einstein. All of those, when we put the name right after the title, we have no article. Now let's talk about continents. When we have a continent by itself, there's no article. For example, Africa. Africa is a large continent. Sometimes you might see the in front of African when Africa is an adjective, like the African climate or something like that. You might have the article, but when it's Africa by itself, no article. Okay, next we have countries. For most countries, it's no article, like Mexico is a great place or Canada has cold weather. So no article, unless, of course, we use the adjective form, and then it depends on the noun that comes after it, like the Mexican economy or the Canadian beers. However, there are a handful of countries where we do use the in front of them. We have the United States or the US, and then there's the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, the Philippines, the Netherlands. There might be a few more countries where we put the in front of it. A lot of times we do put the in front of a country when it's the formal name for the country. For example, the People's Republic of China, we'd use the, but if it's just China, it's just China, no article. Same thing with something like the French Republic or France. For cities like Tokyo, New York, Cairo, London, for those, no article in front of the names for cities. The only exception I can think of is the city The Hague in the Netherlands. For rivers, we do put the in front of the name for rivers. For example, in Africa, we have the Nile River. The United States is divided by east and west by the Mississippi River. The biggest river in the world is the Amazon. And then in Europe, a main river is the Seine. So put the in front of rivers. For seas and oceans, we need the. For example, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the North Sea, the Mediterranean. All of those put the before the name of a sea or an ocean. For lakes, we have no article. For example, Lake Michigan, Lake Victoria, Lake Mead, Lake Tanganyika. So no article before lakes. The only exception that I can think of is the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri in the United States. For mountain ranges, that would be a group of mountains all together. So for a mountain range, yes, we do use the. So the Himalayas are in Asia. The Rocky Mountains are in the United States. The Alps are in Europe. And the Smoky Mountains, or the Smokies, are in the eastern part of the United States. However, an individual mountain has no article. For example, the tallest mountain in the world is Mount Everest. K2 Annapurna is also in Nepal, just like Mount Everest, and then Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. And next we have groups of islands or island chains. For example, the Hawaiian Islands, the Canary Islands, the Maldives, the Caribbean Islands. In those situations, we put the when I want to talk about the name for a group of islands. However, for individual islands, if it's just one island, then we would have no article. For example, Maui is an island in Hawaii. Bali is an island in Indonesia. Santorini is a Greek island, and Jamaica in the Caribbean. Today, we have talked about when to use the or no article for titles in geographic names. I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about this topic. Please subscribe to my channel and also check out my grammar book, Flipping English Grammar. It's available on Amazon. There's a link in the description that'll take you right to the book, and check it out and let me know what you think. Have a great day.